Hello, welcome back to, I'm Jonas,
I'm Jackie.
and welcome back to our Wednesday Night Live, our Fit Family of Faith Wednesday Night Live podcast. This is episode number 4. And first of all, I want to thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. And we will, at intervals, we will put on our old people glasses and look at the comments and answer any questions that you have at the end. And anyway, thanks again for being here. So tonight's topic is protein.
Protein.
Protein. Why should you eat a high protein diet for fat loss?
If you have heard that a high protein diet is a good diet to follow to lose weight, drop us a thumbs up in the comments below. Let us know that you've heard this before.
Yeah, so tonight we'll go into the 3 key benefits. There's 3 key benefits of ingesting protein, of prioritizing protein in your diet for losing weight.
Feel free to ask questions along the way. We both have our reading glasses so that we can see and answer any questions you have. And if you're watching this as a recording, please still leave a comment. We'll come back later and we'll answer those as we get them.
Sure enough, always to have welcome the interaction.
And stay tuned because at the very end, we're going to get very practical and we're going to tell you how much protein you should be eating and how to space that out throughout the day for the best effects.
Yeah, we'll cut to the chase and give you a takeaway that you can implement right now. So, all right, number 1, benefit number 1, key benefit number 1 to protein as your major portion of your diet is that protein provides the building blocks of muscle tissue. They're called amino acids. And remember, our approach here at Fit Families of Faith is to build muscle tissue over time so that it raises our resting metabolic rate and we burn more calories continually at rest. Remember, we did a video on, our first video, as a matter of fact, was on spending versus investing in terms of health and fitness. So, for instance, someone who spends their time trying to create an energy deficit will go on a treadmill for an hour. Well, okay, you've burned some calories. Now tomorrow, what do you have to do? Go do the same thing. Hit that treadmill another hour. Because that hour you did yesterday does nothing for you today. It was purely an expense. Whereas if you do strength training, if you build muscle tissue, you are investing in your future. You have accumulated muscle tissue, and that burns more calories tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And you are not chained to a treadmill, having to spend your time daily to create that energy deficit in order to keep your weight under control. So benefit number 1, again, protein builds muscle.
Benefit number 2, protein is very satiating. When we first get our clients and we start to put them on a very high protein diet, they often tell us, I'm actually having a lot of trouble eating as much food as I'm supposed to because protein makes you feel full and it keeps you feeling fuller much longer. Think about how much harder it would be to eat a lot of chicken and chicken breast as compared to a lot of Little Debbie's or a lot of cereal. It's easy to get down a lot of junk. It's harder to get down a lot of protein or like a great big T-bone steak.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I can pound 500 calories of brownies or cinnamon toast crunch real quick. Real quick, you
Yeah,
know.
you can.
Yeah, so protein, it's a lot harder to pound 500 calories of meat. Sure enough. So, hey Karen, hey Nancy, glad to have y'all with us. Thanks for joining us. All right, so that was benefit number 2. It's satiating. Benefit number 3 to having a high protein diet for fat loss. Protein is not directly used by the body as an energy source. Fat and carbohydrates can be used directly by the body immediately as energy sources. The body can tap into those calories and use them for energy, or if it doesn't need energy immediately, store them as fat. Protein, however, is different. It has to undergo a conversion process in the body. It gets converted into a carbohydrate, glucose, before it can be utilized as energy or stored as energy, which means fat. So, and that conversion process, converting protein over into a carbohydrate that can then be stored as fat, costs the body calories. It's a costly, it's an energy intensive dynamic. It costs the body calories in order to turn protein into a utilizable energy source or substrate. So it's a double win if you're dieting. If your goal is not to accumulate fat, if your goal is to shed fat, that is a very good thing, a key benefit. That's number 3.
So, those are our 3 benefits. Now, how do you apply that? Well, how much protein should you eat every day? A good rule of thumb is to eat 1 gram of protein per lean pound of body mass. So, not necessarily what you weigh now, but what you would weigh at your healthy weight, assuming that you are exercising. So, take the weight that you want to be, your goal weight, the weight the doctor has set for you, and that's how much protein you should have. So, if your goal weight, your healthy weight is 150 pounds, then you should be eating about 150 grams of protein each day.
Yeah, that makes it very easy to apply. Just think of yourself at your ideal weight. Whatever your ideal weight is in pounds, get 1 gram of protein for every pound of your ideal weight. Now, this is assuming that you are actually exercising. For the non-exercising population, you can get by with much lower protein needs. Why? You're not building any muscle. You're sitting around. For us, we who are trying to change our bodies, to accumulate muscle mass and destroy fat and lose it permanently, we need that 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. That's key. All right, so let's say you want to be 150 pounds. You want to ingest 150 grams of protein per day. Sounds like a lot to a lot of you probably. The normal American diet is much lower.
Much lower.
Yeah, and that's why people are fat and not jacked. I'm sorry, that was unkind. Forgive me. Trying to be real with you, okay? Trying to actually give you stuff that will help you, okay? So, how do you space that out? Do you eat nothing but carbs all day and then eat 150 grams of protein in a big chuck roast at night? No, okay? The ideal way to do it is to space it out in roughly equal protein feedings, at least 4. 4 meals, you guys, 4 meals, bare minimum, and get roughly equal protein feedings each time. So if you're trying to get 160 grams of protein, you could do 4 meals of 40 each, 40-ish. If you've got, if dinner is a big steak and it's, 50 or 60 and, you only get 25 at some of your other meals, that's fine. Equal-ish and spaced out at least 4 meals. I eat 6, okay, at least. So just space them out, every 3 hours or so. This gives some key benefits too. It keeps your metabolism humming, first of all. Smaller, more frequent meals keeps your metabolism humming. And each time that you ingest 25 or 30 grams of protein, at least, it sends a signal to your muscles to start the muscle building process, independent of exercise. Okay, so you're getting multiple signals sent to your muscles to do what you want them to do. Get bigger and start burning that fat for you while you watch TV. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
All right, so we have a question. What is a gram of protein?
Good. Handle that. I'll get something we can look at.
Okay, so a lot of your visual eating guides will tell you to use the palm of your hands as a protein serving. A palm of your hand is usually what, about 5 grams of protein? No. I'm sorry. No.
About 3 or 4 ounces.
3 or 4 ounces of
which
protein.
will be about 20 or 30
Yeah,
grams.
which would be about 20 or 30 grams of protein.
Okay, look on your nutritional label. Look on your nutritional label for whatever you have. Look at the protein there. Protein is going to be down there at the bottom, and that's probably out of focus. But grab you a nutritional label, and you'll see protein there. Don't look at the percentage. Look at the grams. That's what we're talking about, the grams. The percentage is what the USDA recommends that you eat. And they're not talking to people who are trying to make bodily changes. They're talking about, their 20-year-old science for sedentary people, and that's why we're in the situation that we're in as a country. We're all obese, right? So anyway, yeah, the grams, you'll find those. Learn to read these nutrition labels, and maybe we'll do a video on those. But those nutrition facts are important, and they measure these things. They give you the measurement in grams. So whether you're looking at, the pork chops, turn them around on the back, look at the grams of protein. If it's not there, then look in a database like
Like
we
Chronometer.
We use Chronometer, and if you look through our resources, you can find a link to Chronometer. It's a great nutrition tracking tool.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah.
Good question.
Basically, lunch meat, if you're doing lean sliced ham, like a serving size might be 4 thin slices, and that's usually about 8 grams of protein right there in 4 thin slices of ham.
Yeah. So whatever food you're eating, check the nutrition label, and that's your best tool. That's your best tool. And yeah, so each time that you make a sandwich with that ham, try and get up to 25, 30 grams of protein.
30 grams of protein.
As a minimum.
So you can add several servings of ham, but also keep in mind that whatever cheese, especially if you're using a lower fat cheese, has protein in it as well.
And even the bread that you put it on has a little bit
Will
of
have
protein.
a little bit,
So
depending
add it
on
all
what
up.
bread you use. Some breads have
Add it
more
all up.
protein than others.
Yeah, this is true.
Healthier bread has more protein.
This is true. So yeah, your best sources of protein are lean meats.
Lean meats.
Lean meats.
And eggs
Eggs.
and low-fat dairy. Cottage
So
cheese.
Cottage cheese. We eat a lot of cottage cheese around
Greek
here.
yogurt.
And Greek yogurt
Yeah.
too. Yeah. So great questions, and I hope that you have gotten a good takeaway from this video. I hope that you'll give it some thought and really implement. Try to up your protein intake, especially if you're following some of the exercises we've been recommending. So if you are willing to try this to up your protein intake, why don't you comment protein in the comments below, and we'll tag you on some other videos or some other resources that will help you add protein
To your diet.
And if you have not yet watched the video where I make the case that building muscle is our very best weapon in the fight against fat, then I'll link that below as well. Okay?
All right.
Sound good?
Thank you for joining us.
Hey, we love you, and we're so happy that you're here with us. We can make changes together, you guys. It's a real thing. So God bless you, and we will see you again at 7 o'clock next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
On our Wednesday
Same
Night Live.
kitchen.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.